Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and I am going to assemble the new cat MDFs. Hey, so I'm using the Gnome Friends cat dies, along with the cat faces stamp set from Jaded Blossom, along with the standing cat MDF die, and then there's a hanging cat MDF die as well. There it is. And I'm also using the MDF Standing Base die. So first of all, I'm going to do my little hanging cat. Now this is cut out of American Crafts gray cardstock. Everything that I use today will be listed right under the video in the description. So this is just American Crafts gray cardstock. You want to use use a bunch of glue, and then weight it down in between. It's just your best bet. And I'm using Barely Art glue, but there's a lot of glues out there. They all work really well. There we are. So next I'm going to, start adding on my other pieces, the front legs. Now you can use this as a tag. You could use this as an ornament, whatever you want to do. Christmas ornaments would be fun. Now I'm going to add on paper tray white cardstock. That's going to be the little furry ruff or the little chest fur of the cat. And I do weight it down in between. Next, I'm going to stick down that whole head again, cut it to that same gray cardstock. Now, sometimes I'll ink around the edge, sometimes I won't. You can use pattern paper if you want, whatever you want to do. So I am sticking these all down. This is very simple. Now, you could have cut the tail separately, but I just cut the whole background in the same color, so the tail's already cut. So now I already went ahead and I stamped the face onto this piece. I added some EK Success chalk first, and then I stamped in Versafine Clair Nocturne ink. Now I'm going to add in my little pink nose. This is American Crafts pink cardstock. And isn't that cute? I do weight it down in between. Now I'm going to add in my pink little interior of the ears, cut from that same pink American Crafts cardstock. And you can see where they go. This is very simple. At least I think it is. It's really easy to do. It's kind of fun, right? Now the collar is cut out of American Crafts green cardstock, and then I used some Recollections Gold mirror cardstock for the bell. And there it is. And isn't that cute? I'm taking a Sakura white jelly roll pen and a number 10, and I'm going to add some freckles to these little cheeks of this cat, because why not, right? And I'm going to add in some Trendy Twine. This is red and green. So there we are. It could be a Christmas tag, could be a birthday tag, could be an ornament. Now I'm taking Doodlebug's Holly and Pine, and I'm going to add a couple of these little holly leaves. And so I'm decorating this one for Christmas, right? And then I'm going to add in some of these berries as well. And isn't this cute? I just think this turned out adorable. Like, how cute is that? And super easy. Okay, next I'm going to put together the standing one. So I cut the base piece out of, what is it called? Oh, there we go. That is Doodlebug-Dot Stripe in orange. There, because this one's going to be dressed up for Halloween. And now I'm going to put together a black cat. You'll notice that I used Close to My Heart White Daisy ink. It's just a pigment ink that I kind of ink blended around the edges. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it just gives a bit of a highlight so you can see the individual pieces a little bit better. So I'm just sticking that down with some glue and weighting down my cat. Next, I'm going to add my other pieces. So there we are. This is, like I said, American Crafts black cardstock with the white pigment ink all around the edges. So this was very simple to do. And a black cat for Halloween couldn't be more perfect, right? Okay, so this little collar is cut from that dot stripe again. from Doodlebug, but in orange. And then I'm using a Recollections Gold cardstock for the little bell. Now I'll put together the rest of this cat. So adding my little cat head on with my reverse tweezers, popping it in place. There we go. And I do weight it down with an acrylic block in between when I get going. I'm also going to add in the little pink interior of each ear. That's American Crafts pink cardstock as well. There we go. I just think this is so cute. So for this one, I'm just going to be using the dies for the face. So I cut out the little muzzle twice out of Paper white cardstock, and I'm going to stick that down. You can see where it goes, like there's little stitching lines. Might not be able to see it in the video. When I'm doing my voiceover, it's on a really small window, so it's hard for me to see. I'm going to add in the little pink nose. That's that same American Crafts pink cardstock again. There we are. Using my little embellishment wand. It really is cute. Now I am going to stick on the little chest fur. This little cat will be holding something, so I'm not going to put the front legs on. Next, I'll add in the little collar with the bell. And it's just so sweet. This one is going to have some stripes, so we will add those on. Those were cut out of Paper white cardstock. There we go. And I'm just going to add all 3 stripes on with that Barely Art glue. And there that is. Isn't that cute? I just think it's adorable. You can make your tabby cat any colors that you'd like. Now I'm going to assemble the little eyes. You'll see to the right, I have another example and I'm just using it. I cut the eyes out of Paper white cardstock and then Bazzill Bling. So it's got like a green shine to it. I do weight that down. And then I'll add these onto my cat with some Barely Art glue. And isn't that sweet? And then the pupils, I'm going to be using Doodlebug's and I think it's called ICU, but they're little black enamel kind of dots, flat dots, right? And isn't that sweet? And these are them. I'm going to put a little glue there just in case. There is some adhesive on the back, but you know, just better be safe than sorry. And oh, isn't that adorable? I just think it's so super cute. Now I'm taking some EK Success chalk. I'm using a lighter pink, and then I'll put some darker pink over top, just so it'll show on the black, right? I just think it's adorable. I keep saying that, right? I'm going to add a few little freckles on there because of course I'm going to, with that Sakura white jelly roll pen in a number 10. And I just think it turned out so cute. Now I'm taking these shape sprinkles. These are called Jolly Jack-o'-lanterns. And I'm going to add one to the front of this little kitty cat with a Stampin' Up! Dimensional. And then I'm going to have the kitty cat holding this little jack-o'-lantern in its little paws. Now you could use this as a decoration on your desk, on your mantle. If you like to do tiered trays for Halloween, that'd be perfect too. So I'm slipping a couple little miniature Stampin' Up! Dimensionals sort of behind that pumpkin, and then that's what my little paws will stick to as well. And you'll see that I also used some White Daisy ink around the little paws, just so they kind of pop a little bit against the back. Because when you cut something out in all black, sometimes it just looks like a blob, like you can't see the details. But there we are, and there it is standing up. Oops, let's get it in place. And isn't that the sweetest thing? Oh my goodness. And then there's my little Christmas one. And that's also, thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog, be inspired by the team, the Jaded Blossom store, to get your hands on these adorable MDF cats. Bye, everybody.